Hello and welcome to day 18 of the 20-day Building Your Brand Challenge. And today we're going to talk about taking your brand offline. So let's recap. In the last few days, we've learned about brand differentiators. We've also learned about how to do lead generation activities and use your brand differentiation in your lead generation activity as part of your marketing mix, which is what your brand wears, to be able to actually sell more product without actually looking like you're selling more product. So today I want to talk about taking your brand offline. Now, some people might not realize that in the marketing mix for your brand, you have online and offline activities. And for those of you that aren't quite sure what that means, an online activity is literally something that you do using the internet or using technology or in a virtual space. And it's not tangible, so you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can only see it. And taking it offline is something that's tangible, it's hardcore, it doesn't require the use of technology or digital. It's not in a virtual space, it's in a real-time space. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can taste it, you can smell it. So that's what we mean by offline. Now, here's a couple of examples of what an offline medium might be. So you've got print, you've got packaging, you've got point of sale, you've got the customer experience, you've got experiential, so how the client or customer interacts or experiences your brand, and of course we've also got product seeding. There are many other forms of taking it offline. Of course, let's not forget networking, that's also an offline activity. But the reason why I want to talk to you about it now is because everyone overlooks offline activities. Everyone overlooks the value and how much more you can gain for your brand by taking it offline, or at least making sure that within your marketing mix for what your brand wears, you've got a combination of both. The reason I suggest taking your brand offline is if your industry is really saturated, i.e. everyone does what yours does, or you've got a lot of competitors, then taking your brand offline is one way to cut through. So let me give you an example. So let's just say you've seen an advertisement for a new packet of crisps or chips or a new soft drink, and you've been meaning to go and buy it. And you see it everywhere. You see it on your social media feed, you see it on a bus shelter ad, you've seen it in a magazine that you just happen to be flicking through. It comes up in those annoying ads online when you're searching for something. It's just everywhere, but you just haven't quite gotten to going into a supermarket to purchase it yourself. And then one day, randomly, you just happen to be walking through a shopping centre or an open outdoor plaza, and someone hands you that product, that packet of chips or crisps or that soft drink. You like it, and guess what? You go and buy it. That's an example of product seeding. That's an example of taking your brand offline and giving it straight into the hands of the customer or the consumer or whoever the end user is. And another good example of offline is how many times have you had someone that's been knocking on your door, they're wanting to sell you their product, it's physical, it's tangible, and they call you up and they just happen to be in the neighborhood and they just want to drop by something for you to take a look at. That's another example of taking your brand offline. Of course, let's not forget the beauty of tangibility in terms of touching, feeling, and holding something in terms of printed material. But again, if you're going to do printed material and taking your brand offline, consider how you can use some of the differentiators to be able to do that. So if someone's out there saying to you, oh, look, don't worry about taking it offline, online's where it's at, it's dead in the water, print doesn't exist anymore, don't listen to them. Put earplugs in and don't listen to them. Print is not dead. Offline is not dead. Otherwise, why would people bother to give you samples of their product? If it didn't work, why do they still do it? Anyway, the point of today's exercise is go back and have a look at your marketing mix. If you've only got online activities and you're only using differentiators online, try and at least put one offline activity in there. The only time that I would suggest you don't do offline activity is you're in startup and you need all the leads that you can get, so you want to focus on as many lead generation activities for your brand. Or you're actually in high growth mode, so you want to sort of balance it out with some short-term, medium-term and long-term activities for your brand in terms of your marketing. So you might want to consider a bit offline, a bit online, and potentially something for lead generation. So today's exercise should only be a quick 30-minute exercise. Go back and re-review what your brand wears in terms of the marketing activities. Have a look. Do you need to take your brand offline? Do you think there's a little bit more cut through that you can actually get if you would do one of those activities, that physical, tangible activity where someone can live, breathe, smell, interact, taste, engage within your product or with your brand? Of course, if you would like some advice and you want us to take a look at what you're doing, feel free to PM me. Make sure that you add in a comment. Of course, if you know someone that will benefit from this 20-day challenge, feel free to share the love, and let's stay tuned for day 19, the next installment. You know what to do.